President Danielle Sutton. You get around, don't you?
I'll get around to you, too.
Welcome in another episode for the Critics Collective. I'm the Dad Panther. I'm here with Iris. Iris, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So for this one, we're going to do the Amazon Prime exclusive. It's called G20, Viola Davis, legendary, and various other roles. And she'll be the lead on this one. But before we get into that one, we have to say we've set the road to 1, 2, 3, 4,000 as Iris and some of the people on the team want to get that plaque on the wall in the background. But we currently are at 5,000 subscribers and counting. So the call out that I would say is just give us a shot. Like, give us 3 minutes of your time. We appreciate it. And then let us know in the comments what you think about the episode, what you think about what we're talking about, and what would you like this channel to bring you in film, television, entertainment, and all that jazz. So for G20, IMDB says this: terrorists take over the G20 summit with President Sutton bringing her governing and military experience to defend her family, company, and the world. Okay, now this one came out April 10th on Amazon Prime. It runs at almost 2 hours. It's a rated R movie. There is death in it, so just letting you know. Now, Iris, what was your first impression of this movie, G20?
So, first of all, I love Viola Davis. I make it my business to watch all of her movies. I feel like as an actress, she always brings such a power to her character. Like, she is just a force in all the movies that she makes. So as soon as I saw what Viola Davis and she's playing as a president of the United States, hell yeah, I'm gonna watch this. I was like, that's right, mama. Yes. So very excited. Yes, I'm very excited to see this one.
Okay. For me, I saw, and yes, I was like the lead, and I'm like, hey, there's been a lot of good movies that have to do with the president or the White House and things that are kind of going through, and I just thought this was gonna be hot garbage. I'm just telling you right now. Like, I saw it, I didn't see the trailer, I just saw who was in it. I'm like, I just saw her, and I think later on I saw that the lead who plays Homelander for another Prime show, The Boys, and I was like, oh, he's the villain, and this is gonna be hot garbage. Like, I just see it already. So that was my
What?
impression.
Really? Anthony Starr's not that bad.
No. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm just saying he's hot. He's Homelander, and he does such a great job as Homelander. And just me,
Yeah.
whenever I see someone who's played that role, a villain or a good guy or a lover or a fighter, whatever, and they transition and their next movie that I know them for is something in that similar trait, I'm like, man, are they going to get typecasted? Are they just going to get put in this box? So I just thought this action thriller movie was going to be a dud and less of action and more in maybe I need to scroll on my phone. Now, for this, what was your highs and lows while watching G20?
Okay, so you know how I'm very about movies, especially when it comes to action movies or horror movies, getting to the point.
Mm-hmm.
The only type of movies that I will say, okay, I understand is more like drama, more, chick flicks, anything that might be a tearjerker, you got to build up to, that's fine, whatever. But with this one, it literally, you know what the summit's about. You already know who your bad guy is going to be. And you already know, like, hey, shit's about to go down. And it gets to it like super quick. And I like that. And it's crazy because even though the movie is 2 hours long, I think with all of the action, that's what kept me involved in the movie. So I enjoyed all of the actors, everyone that they chose. And I loved that our two biggest stars, of course, Viola Davis, as we mentioned prior, and that her main agent was Ramón Rodríguez. Puerto Rican, baby. Yes. Puerto Rican papi. He plays Will Trent on ABC.
Yes, he
one of my
does.
favorite shows.
Good show. Yeah.
Okay, so when I saw he was going to be on this one with Viola Davis, I was like, oh yes, highs right there. Highs right there. And I loved their dynamic. I liked their chemistry, like their professional chemistry, you know. It was good to me. And I loved how it was, you know, you got yourself a strong black woman and a strong Latin papi working together, baby. Yes. That's
Okay.
like mwah to me. Okay. So lows. I would have to say the movie is predictable. It is very predictable. I mean, it is. There are no surprises. There's no twists. There's no turns. At least not to me. Like, I already know. We knew who our villain was, but you can already guess who the villain behind the villain is. Like, I was not shocked at all.
Yeah, we're not gonna spoil anything, but
Yeah, we're not gonna
yeah,
spoil
it
anything.
didn't.
I wasn't shocked at all. Because I could already tell, like, once you're introduced to specific characters, I was already like, yeah, I don't like that motherfucker right there. I don't like that bitch right there. I already know something's up. So, and I have to say, I really didn't like that Anthony Starr's character, even though he did very well as the villain. I wasn't really digging the accent. He was trying to give us like an Australian accent.
Yeah.
Not that he did bad at it per se. It's just unnecessary. I felt that it was unnecessary to
It'll be a
add that to the
keyword.
character. Yeah,
Unnecessary.
it was unnecessary, you know. So those were my biggest, you know, highs and lows of the movie.
Okay, so for me on this one, G20, always start at the lows. The lows for me was this is way too long. Like if you don't have a solid script and cast, and an idea for the movie, the pacing, an hour and 30 minutes is where it sits nice for me. If you don't have any of that and you're just trying to put something out there, an hour and 20 minutes, that's just it's hard to mess that up. This sitting at almost 2 hours was such a drag, even though the fact it was an action movie. The other word I would have used that Iris said before, but I'll spin a different way: unnecessary. Unnecessary is what this movie is. Now, what I mean by unnecessary, respectfully, is unnecessary the amount of things that were happening. It was almost like the meme and the conversation the kids would say like 2 or 3 years ago is you would say, hey, you know, what color, well, how many camera angles do you want? And you would say yes. Like, it doesn't answer the question. It's just like, yes, all of them. That's what this was. They went ahead and they took you to Wakanda. I'm not spoiling anything, but they took you to Wakanda. There were fighting scenes where the knife is there and they chose not to use the knife. They chose to fight. Literally, there's times where it makes no sense. There's physics that goes into it. Can a woman beat a man? Hell yeah. I'm not gonna hesitate on that. But there was a situation where you're sitting there watching and you're like, I can't really believe this. And there's multiple situations, especially going into the third act, where you're sitting there saying to yourself, why do they keep making this harder than it has to be? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Then the other part about it was on some of the casting was, but I'm just saying, but sometimes that means you don't have a movie. If you got to keep making shit up like kids playing with toys, well then I take the toy and then I crash it here and then I blow this up and then I grab here and I flip it. If you got to do all that to tell the story, you have no story. I'm just saying somebody's collecting a check. So it's Marvel and DC have a crazy universe. ABC seems to have a crazy universe because we got How Do I Get Away with Murder's lead with Blackish star Anthony Anderson and his daughter from Blackish. This brand new family that cut out the other people from the family. And they're in this. It took me a minute to realize that. But on the last part of the low is just there was not a solid story for this, unfortunately. I think it was the good stuff. I think it was shot well, some good lighting, some good choreographed fighting scenes. I thought the military aspect from Miss Davis was believable to me. I don't know shit about guns, but it was believable. She's out, she out there just
guns though. I was like, damn, Viola.
I appreciated what she was doing. I appreciate this cast. It was a fun cast. It was a well done cast. It's unfortunate that I feel like the story let them down and the runtime let them down, but I thought the cast was there. I thought South Africa, check out our reviews. We've done some movies like Disaster Holidays and My Happiness Is and stuff like that from South Africa. Check out some of those reviews. But I thought the setting was a good setting. It's just it is what it is from what it is. Now, with that being said, there's only one thing to do. It is time to rate this. Our rating here is simple. It goes from 0 to 5. 5 being excellent, phenomenal. You'll tell everyone you'll buy it on Blu-ray or VHS. And then you have is horrible. It's just, you might as well just go ahead and pick it up in a bin somewhere. Matter of fact, don't pick it up in a bin. Give it to somebody this holiday season that you just don't like. Just put it in a stocking stuffer and give it to them. That's how bad 0 is. It's just what it is. Now, with that being said, before we get into that, as we continue to say, subscribe, hit the follow button, like for more, check us out for 3 minutes. All right. And tell us in the comments what you think and what we'd like to see out of the Critics Collective. Iris, what are you rating G20 on Amazon Prime?
Honestly, I want to give it like a 3.5.
You know, Lingo is just gonna
he gonna uppercut the shit out of me. He's gonna be like, there are no like, I think it deserves at least a 3 accolades and half a 1. At least. Because I'm not gonna
co-sign on that. My rating for this is it's a 2. It's a 2. Like it's a 2. It's just and I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it, but when you look at what this cast is and what the look of this movie is, there's just not enough with so much TV out. You can watch a handful of episodes from Daredevil, wait for that review, Black Mirror season 7, The Pit and the way that ended. Like there's so much good TV out. Like you mentioned already, the show that Ramón Rodríguez is in, there's so much good TV out there. So it's not to say don't watch it. You know, if you're a fan of some of the stars and you just kind of like these kind of movies, but it didn't bring that action that you probably going to get from Den of Thieves 1 and 2. It's what it is. It's not bad. It's just different. So with that being said, you know,
it's a woman that's a president. It's all right. You could just say it.
No, listen, it's not even that. It's not even that. Like I said before, I thought the cast was great. I thought what they were doing and the power and stuff that they showed for her, but without spoiling anything, unfortunately, it falls into the trope, and I'm not happy about it. They made her character weaker because she was a woman. You see it in all these movies where they have to say what they're doing, and she said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but she said things that she didn't have to say that made her character feel smaller and weaker. Why couldn't she just be a military woman and she did her because she did her? Why does she have to say, well, something where it takes away from the viewer who feels like that woman can't be in that powerful position? So that's what I mean by that. It's not nothing against the cast. It was unfortunately a disservice with the storyline and the flow of the plot. But with that being said, you could have been anywhere in the world and you chose to be here, and I greatly appreciate that. Until next time, kalika-lika-lao.